A couple of months back, I was sent a tweet from a viewer suggesting that Liam Gallagher and John Squire's newly released single, Just Another Rainbow, could have been an anagram referring to Ian Brown, singer for the Stone Roses and John Squire's former bandmate. I then did a video on this idea, exploring the possibility that the lyrics to this song, which did come in for quite a lot of stick online, might actually have had a deeper meaning, hidden in amongst what some people considered the simplistic words. Here's a few clips. I decided to look not just at the word rainbow, but at the whole phrase, just another rainbow. And then it hit me. Just Another Rainbow is an anagram of just to hear Ian Brown. For those who may not know, Ian Brown is the singer from John Squire's first and biggest band, the Stone Roses. Now, quick disclaimer time, as always, this is just a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously, this is just a bit of theorising. All of this is just one possible interpretation, and it could be wrong. If Just Another Rainbow really is an anagram, the whole thing could now be reinterpreted as a retrospective on the last reunion tour of the Stone Roses. Interestingly, loads of people added further context to this idea down in the comments section. So here's a selection of input from you guys, the viewers, all of which was actually completely new to me. James O'Meara said, "Listen to Ian Brown, First World Problems. It's an obvious 2 fingers up to Ian Brown for him thinking Squire is just his Pete Townsend." Jimmy Williams said, "Ian Brown loves an anagram. He wrote Own Brain, which, as he tells you in the song, is an anagram of his own name." Kunda Lions 108 wrote, "Watch Ian Brown on his First World Problems video, where at the end he throws the pink Fender Stratocaster into the river. That Stratocaster was the one John Squire played on the first album, and during their meteoric rise." Stu the Q said, "Most of Unfinished Monkey Business was about Squire. Can't See Me, What Happened to You, Deep Pile Dreams and Nah Nah were unmissable digs. Anagrams, double meanings and metaphors started with the Roses, and this is a continuation of that." SMK Sean wrote, "I completely agree that it's about either Ian or the Roses. That's totally the way I interpreted the lyrics when I found out Squire was the sole lyricist on the song." There was discourse around Brown's First World Problems music video that he threw in a model of guitar John used to use into a canal, symbolising he was done with him/the Roses. Ian's solo work also has references to John in a song or two from memory. I can totally see John doing the same back. Ian also has a song called Own Brain, also an anagram of his name, so John might assume Ian would put 2 and 2 together if rainbow is an anagram. So there's a selection of further thoughts from viewers. Personally, I genuinely still just remain undecided. The rainbow theory might be true, and it might not. I've genuinely got no idea, but here is one further thing I mentioned on my initial video on Just Another Rainbow. Now this is only just a short video, so I'm going to wrap it up by saying, if this theory is true, let's face it, we're probably never going to know. No one wants to get sued for defamation or anything like that, so everyone involved is either going to not comment or just flatly deny it. So there's probably very little point in hoping for any kind of official confirmation of something like this pretty much ever. Of course, neither Liam nor John did make any public comment about the meaning behind the song. That is, until they did a pretty obscure interview for a German music magazine. That article very much went under the radar in the UK because it was completely in German. It came out on the 15th of March 2024, and big shout out to Reap on Instagram, who got in touch to let me know about this article. I have actually ordered a physical copy of it, but because I had to order it from Germany, it's not here yet. But I was able to read a digital version of that article, pull the text out and run it through Google Translate. In English, this passage says, "Anyway, a YouTuber discovered that the title of your lead single, Just Another Rainbow, is an anagram for Just to Hear Ian Brown. He then incorporated this into the entire lyrics of the song, which is a surprisingly consistent reckoning with the ex-singer of the Stone Roses. What do you say to that?" John Squire replied, "Guys like that should go outside more often and get some fresh air. Put your smartphones aside for a moment." Cheeky bastard. But I do actually agree it's far better to be out in nature than glued to your phone. Continuing. The interviewer asked, "So the theory is nonsense?" John replied, "The theory is therefore nonsense." And then Liam chipped in saying, There have always been people like that who play records backwards and try to and try to hear Lucifer. So, when confronted with it, they both said it's not true, but what else were they ever going to say anyway? But here's the really interesting thing about that. You can see from the message Reap sent me on Instagram that I only found out about this interview on Friday, and that was after my recent review of their album, in which I said this. I do feel that there is at least some kind of mini story here at the end. In song 7, Make It Up As You Go Along, we literally get a reference to streaming. Then by song 9, we have someone who just lives on their phone, realising I've got to get out. And then the album finishes with someone actually getting out, Mother Nature's song. They get away from the screens and get back out into nature, where the real content, the real music actually is. So I reckon it's quite possible that I actually hit the nail on the head there with the album interpretation. I'm really not sure what Liam was on about there with the Lucifer comment. He might have been referring to some people believing that Stairway to Heaven, when played backwards, contains satanic messages. Or he could perhaps have been referring to John Squire's song from Second Coming with the Stone Roses, Driving South, which is a kind of modern retelling of the Robert Johnson Crossroads legend. The original Robert Johnson legend says that in the south of America he went to a lonely crossroads at midnight and sold his soul to the devil in exchange for virtuosic guitar playing ability, particularly in the blues. In Driving South, the songwriter, John, goes to a lonely crossroads to sell his soul to a mysterious hitchhiker who tells him to call 0800 666. And of course, this is a blues song on a blues album, so it does kind of fit. So who knows, that might be what Liam's somewhat random comment is referring to here. But that's not all. Liam has apparently also been on my Twitter page. That was very unexpected and also pretty cool. I recently posted my review of their album, which I genuinely think is fantastic and one of the best records of the year so far. I titled my review Biblical or Bollocks and posted it on my Twitter page. My conclusion was that the album is biblical. However, someone called Mark disagreed with me, commenting, it's neither. If anything, most of the songs swing towards bollocks. And Liam, who was not tagged in the post, read it and disagreed with Mark, saying, zip it, Penfold, which was pretty funny. I replied saying, great album, Liam, looking forward to the second. And for those who didn't know, apparently a second album is in the works, which is awesome. So that's it. Liam Gallagher and John Squire did actually address the little kind of conspiracy idea in that video on Just Another Rainbow. Let me know in the comments below what you reckon following their response. And as I've already said, in reality, who bloody knows? These videos, including that one on Just Another Rainbow, genuinely are just a bit of fun. They are purely for entertainment. But in the big picture, I don't think all the controversy and debate over their new album has been a bad thing anyway. On one or two past releases, the kind of overwhelming response has been just kind of a shrug. No one has been interested in saying anything good or bad about certain releases. Whereas this one, everyone's got an opinion. And let's be honest, it's far better to have loads of people discussing a piece of musical art than to have no one talking about it at all. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you next time.